Well, good morning. This is day one of our course expedition into the Adirondacks. We're hiking along what's Long Lake, and we hiked in 2 miles last night, and it was raining. It was challenging, and everybody did really well, actually. Everybody got a meal, and we got the bear hangs up, which was good. And now today, hopefully we'll be starting off here in a little bit and having breakfast. And that's a lean-to shelter that you see in the Adirondacks along the Appalachian Trail. And I'm glad we made it here last night. The shelter was great. Anyway, that's what's going on now. Well, this is an A+ bear hang. It's probably 15 feet up. It's more than 4 feet from the trunk. And it's dropping about 3 feet below the tree. So I don't think any bears in the Adirondacks are going to be able to get this one. That is a high one. Matter of fact, there's the outhouse. It's nice having an outhouse. We don't have to dig holes all the time. We have these wonderful outhouses where we're camping each night, and we don't have to worry about digging cat holes. But I think some people are digging cat holes because in this particular outhouse, there's a large spider. It's a huntsman spider. I saw it last night when I was using it at the facilities, but it just was on the wall looking at me, and it did not pose any type of threat. But some of the students don't feel the same way, and they will not enter this outhouse because of the large spider, which I think is a huntsman spider. It is actually quite large and moves fast. It's kind of cool to see. It's like a Halloween spider. Good morning. This morning is our last day of our hiking section, and we're walking out of the mountains to start our canoe section. And the temperature this morning, we had a low of 45 degrees and it felt wonderful. It's been a little warm. Anyway, we're headed out. Well, we're on the water and we're going to go canoeing for the next 7 days, which is awesome. And it is a beautiful day. There's all the students. Everybody's getting ready and they're doing awesome. Good morning. Right now, on my way to the outhouse. Our campsite on this island has an outhouse. And I wanted to do a video of it because I found it somewhat frightening of an experience. And you'll see what I mean. So first I'll show where we are. Let me show. So there's our camp over there. And now I'm heading on the trail to the outhouse. First off, just the trail there to the outhouse is like a jungle. And there's bears out here. So I should be saying, hey bear. Doesn't look like much of a trail, does it? It's also quite slippery when it's wet. Oh, and it's wet all the time here. And this is the outhouse. I mean, it's straight out of central casting for a horror movie. Right now I'm standing on the outhouse door. You see the hinges? So there's no door on the outhouse. Yep, this is the outhouse. Each outhouse has probably 20 to 40 resident spiders, which I have to admit, when I was young, spiders would bother me, but I don't feel that way anymore. But this is what we have to endure. The good thing about this, we don't have to dig a hole, a cat hole, and use the bidet method for cleaning our bottom. We can actually use toilet paper. There we go. Joys of camping in the Adirondacks. We have an outhouse. Well, we've gone from one lake to another lake, and as you can see, it's raining, which is kind of nice though. It gives a break from having too much sunshine. Anyway, everybody's doing super well.
Stuck in trying to record us. Alright, Sunny. Let me try something else. Now push forward.
Why?
What?
There's this thing in canoeing called portaging. It's where you're not canoeing, you're walking with the canoe. It's called portaging, and it can be very strenuous. Well, we're about to cross Howell Lake, and it's a little windy. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's the 20th or 21st of July. We've been out for about 9 days, canoeing for 2 full days, and then we're starting the 3rd day of canoeing. So maybe it's only 9 days, something like that. Anyway, it's windy here on Howell Lake, and I'll show you. On the portage, we got 5 of our canoes over here. There's one of our food barrels. We have 3 more of those coming. And this is what we have to cross. It's getting a little choppy, but there's no white caps. Going into the wind is always challenging, especially people that are new to canoeing. But I think we're going to be okay if it doesn't get any windier. But it's going to take a while to get across here with this wind. And again, here's the boat ramp, our canoes, and we're about ready to go. Kind of. morning. We're on St. Regis Lake. We're getting the canoes ready to go across St. Regis to the portage. Temperature is probably about 65 degrees, sunny, blue sky, very few mosquitoes, no black flies, and no ticks. And it's beautiful out here. And that's the canoe behind me. One of them, one of many canoes. I like this wall in this trail that was built for canoers to go from St. Regis, whatever lake is behind me, Lower St. Regis, I think, to Bog Lake up here. It's pretty cool. Well, we're done with all of the portages have been completed. And the last one was from Bog Lake to Upper St. Regis Lake. And all the way now to Paul Smith College, we can paddle, which is awesome. And this is where we came from a few minutes ago, from Bog Pond. A lot of the lakes up here are called ponds, when I would definitely call them a lake, not a pond. A pond to me is pretty tiny, but what do I know? Anyway, we're going into Upper St. Regis. We're going to about 2 miles or so to our next camp. Well, this morning is our last morning or day of canoeing, and we're headed back towards Upper St. Regis. We're on Upper St. Regis Lake, but we're heading back to Paul Smith College. And as you can see, it's starting to rain, which is great. Keeps it cool.